When you're shopping for a firewall for a small to medium retail chain, the temptation is to grab the cheapest plug-and-play device you can find on a discount site. I've seen it happen too often. A budget box gets installed, the first week it looks fine, and then you start getting weird network hiccups, missed updates, and that dreaded "who can I call" moment when something goes wrong. The regret is real, and it makes you wonder whether paying a little more for a reputable vendor is actually worth it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In today's video I'm going to break down the WatchGuard Firebox T145W, the model that promises enterprise-grade security for retail and branch locations without the massive price tag of the flagship units. I'll walk through what the box actually does in a real-world shop floor, who will get the most bang for their buck, and where the trade-offs hide. First off, the biggest hesitation people have with any firewall is the fear of overpaying for features they'll never use. The T145W slots in at a middle ground price point. It's not a hobbyist-level appliance, but it's also not the multi-gigabit core you'd find in a data center. What matters is whether those capabilities line up with the day-to-day needs of a retail environment. In practice, the device comes with 4 Ethernet ports, 2 1 gigabit, 1 2.5 gigabits, and an SFP slot for fiber uplinks, plus built-in Wi-Fi 7. That combo lets you connect a point-of-sale, POS, network, a guest Wi-Fi, a surveillance camera feed, and still have spare capacity for an uplink to your ISP. In a typical boutique with 30 to 40 employees, you'll rarely saturate the 1 gigabit ports, but having that extra 2.5 gigabits lane gives you headroom for future upgrades, like a higher bandwidth video analytics system. One of the first practical strengths I noticed when I set up a demo store is how the firewall's policy management UI is organized. WatchGuard uses its Firewall operating system, which presents policies as clear blocks rather than a wall of text. Adding a rule to allow Stripe payments, for example, is as simple as dragging the payment gateway's preset into the rule set and confirming the IP ranges. For someone without a dedicated network admin, that simplicity translates into less time spent on configuration and fewer mistakes that could expose the network to attackers. The device also bundles 1 year of standard support. That's the part that covers software updates and 24/7 emergency help. In my experience, having that safety net matters because firewall vendors push frequent signature updates, especially with ransomware evolving fast. Knowing you can call a support engineer in the middle of a Black Friday rush and get a quick patch is a reassuring safety net. On the flip side, the standard support tier isn't the same as a full managed service. It will get you the latest updates and basic troubleshooting, but it won't proactively monitor your traffic or adjust rules for you. If you're looking for a fully hands-off solution, you'd need to upgrade to the premium offering, which adds more personalized assistance and reporting. That's a hidden cost that some buyers forget when they only look at the hardware price. Another practical consideration is the device's footprint and installation quirks. The T145W is a rack-mountable unit that also ships with optional wall mount brackets. In a cramped back office, the ability to mount it on a wall can free up rack space, but the included power supply is a single 120V plug. If you're in an environment where power redundancy matters, you'll need to purchase an external UPS separately, something that isn't obvious from the product spec sheet. In contrast, many competing entry-level firewalls bundle a built-in redundant power module, which can be a decisive factor for businesses that can't afford any downtime. Now, who should actually buy the T145W? If you run a chain of 3 to 10 retail locations, each with a modest number of devices, and you need a firewall that can enforce granular per-application policies, support a guest Wi-Fi, and give you the confidence of a reputable vendor, this unit hits the sweet spot. It also makes sense for a branch office of a larger enterprise that already uses WatchGuard centrally. The management console can push policies from the headquarters, keeping things consistent. The device's Wi-Fi 7 radios are a plus for storefronts that want to offer high-speed guest internet, because you can run a separate SSID for customers without sacrificing bandwidth for POS terminals. On the other hand, if you're a single-store shop with only a handful of POS terminals, or a startup that runs everything in the cloud and already uses a hosted firewall service, the T145W may be overkill. You'd be paying for extra ports and a higher-end Wi-Fi standard that you'll never fully utilize. In that case, a smaller, cheaper firewall, even a basic UTM appliance, could meet your needs while keeping the upfront cost lower. There are a couple of nuanced weaknesses worth flagging. First, the device's inspection engine, while solid for most web-based attacks, can struggle with high throughput SSL decryption if you try to push the 2.5 gigabits port to its limits with a large